Good afternoon, everyone. Free on here. In today's episode, BU live, IG live. We're going to be discussing Terry, the one and
Hey,
only. Look at him here. I hope your day's going good so far. Everyone
yes,
who's
sir.
viewing, how you doing, Terry?
Okay, thank you.
So, we're going to jump and get this episode started as soon as possible. Terry, I guess tell the people who's watching who you are. Give us a little background about yourself, your professional background as well.
Well, my name is Terry. My handle is T Smith Fitness and Massage on Instagram, and I'm a personal trainer, massage therapist, and I've studied Pilates many years ago, and was a certified Pilates instructor. And I've kind of molded those three modalities together, along with taking yoga for quite a few years. And I just molded that into a nice little career, and here we are.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear that. So, Terry, I guess what made you decide to choose? I guess you can go in the order that you want, but what made you decide to do personal training and massage therapy specifically?
Well, the personal training came by way of me teaching boxing classes many years ago, many years ago.
Wow.
And I taught these cardio boxing classes. And then, I probably did that for 3 years or so. And I just kind of parlayed that into the personal training. I stopped teaching the classes because I was just doing between that and spinning, it was a lot. So I stopped doing that, and people just started to reach out to me to personal train them. So I did that. And for many years. And it wasn't until maybe 10 years later that I decided to go to massage school. Yeah, and I just felt the two would complement each other. So I went to massage school for a little over 2 years. And then I just started putting them all together. But even before the massage, back in 2000, I got certified in Pilates. So it went from weight training to being certified in Pilates, and then a few years later, massage therapy.
Oh, wow.
Then, like I said, yeah, I've molded all those three together, and like I said, I've carved out a nice little,
Resume.
resume. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. It sounds like it's like you kind of bounced around I would say the fitness space, would you say, in different forms of exercise and training. What made you decide to do weight training out of all? Because I know you said you did boxing, and then you went to weight training, and now is it mainly Pilates now, would you say?
No, so right now the main focus, what I do mostly is, so with the personal training, I actually, I pull from all of my modalities, right? So I use the Pilates with the weight training, and I don't really teach the Pilates so much anymore. So whatever I learned in Pilates, I use those skills. I use that skill set with the weight training.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it just changes everything for the person, and how you conceptualize moving your body, because most of the time people just don't have any. I shouldn't say most people, but some people just don't have any body awareness when they're exercising. And I feel like when I incorporate the Pilates, it gives them that body awareness to actually do the weights correctly.
And Pilates is huge.
Yes, and then I use the massage to just kind of pull it all together to keep them, keep the body
functioning
moving and functioning correctly. Exactly.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. It's almost like you, in a way, you jumped into, I guess, this whole exercise fitness space, right, with just boxing, then started learning a little bit about weight training, then a little bit about Pilates, and you realize you're like, oh, Pilates is actually beneficial when it comes to weight training, and weight training is beneficial.
Well, it's funny because I was taking the cardio boxing classes. It's not like your traditional boxing where I'm actually teaching people how to fight.
Right, they're always 9 rounds, right?
Yeah, they were always like just fun cardio classes. So I was taking those, and then I started to really enjoy it, and I started teaching them. And then that's how that came to pass. And then Yeah, and then again, like I said, I parlay that into personal training, but I feel like the Pilates is what has pulled everything together, you know.
Right.
And so yeah, that's how I teach. That's what I do, and it's lovely.
Oh, that's awesome. So I guess this eases into the next question. So what would you recommend to those who do weight training, why they should do Pilates? And then
Body awareness, like
perfect.
just body awareness, and not that you don't have it
Hmm.
in weight training, but it just helps, being able to knowing where and how to hold your posture,
Right.
knowing exactly what the muscles are doing, when you're using them, knowing where you are in space,
Hmm.
relative to space, and it just helps all around, and vice versa with the Pilates. You may be flexible, or have good core strength, but you may be weak in some areas, and that's where
Hmm.
the strength training comes in.
Gotcha.
It actually helps you strengthen your body in ways that Pilates can't. So they really work well together.
Right. As they complement each other. It's almost like, would you say if you just do weight training, it's very unlikely that you can build like body awareness just from doing weight training?
No, it depends on how you weight train.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, if you train a certain way, you can definitely gain body awareness. And
Hmm.
it's not that you can't do it without one or the other, but I just felt the two really enhance each other.
Right. Right.
You can have body awareness, and you can and have all that by just doing one or the other. But the
Right.
two just work really well
Work
together.
really well together.
Yeah, I feel, yeah.
I
There's
got you.
a there's a longevity to it. I feel that comes with doing both together,
Gotcha.
and then
I gotcha.
the massage also.
Right. Which I want to get into the massage as well.
Yeah.
The reason I was kind of more on this Pilates and weight training side is because I noticed that when I'm too focused on strength training, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to weight training, you lose that body, like I guess the functional, let's just say functional movements that Pilates has, and the functional movements that you can do with weight training. It's kind of like you neglect those in a way to where your body starts tightening up in certain areas.
Well, again, I think the massage is great because it's just part of the healing process,
Right.
and it's part of the recovery process. Like,
Right.
if you do too much of one thing, if you do too much
Yeah.
yoga, you do too much Pilates, but you're not doing anything to help your body recover from the things you're doing, then there's always going to be issues afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that you're doing too much of one thing, um, but you could be overdoing it and not doing
Mm-hmm.
anything to help the muscles heal in a
Right.
timely manner. Right? And that's where the massage comes in. So you could just do Pilates, just do yoga, just do tennis, but if you're not recovering properly, then issues will step in.
Mm-hmm. So would you say most people, they like say the person that's only doing weight training, they should incorporate some massage
Oh,
um,
always. There's
always?
some kind of recovery, whether it's massage. I mean, listen, and you can use Pilates as recovery too, or
Mhm.
yoga as recovery,
Oh, that's awesome.
just depending on what kind of style of yoga you're doing. But uh, you don't have to only use massage. I mean, massage
Right.
for recovery.
Just some other form of.
Just some other form of recovery. Like, you can take your styrofoam roller and use that,
Mhm.
for recovery. So it's just, but you need to get some form of recovery in there, some kind of stretching, some kind of mobility work, massage, anything that's going to help, counteract whatever it is you did with the weight training or
That's
boxing or
awesome.
what, things
Right.
like
That
that.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I guess since we touched on the weight training side, I guess the massage side. So people who only get massages, why should they incorporate weight training, or some sort of exercise?
Well, I mean, the massage is great, and the massage is not really, whatever your goal may be to get in shape or lose weight or whatever it is that you do
Mhm.
fitness for. The massage is not doing any of that. It feels
Right.
great, and maybe people are getting massage all the time or only massage because of injury.
Mhm.
But I mean, you should just strength train or do some form of exercise just
Mhm.
because. I mean, your body needs it, longevity, health wise, and you know if you're only doing massage, maybe that person is just not into exercise. I mean, I know people who
Mm,
just only get massages, but like, you know, it's a different thing, right?
right,
It's a different thing. You're not trying to get in shape or for something. If you're just doing massage, it just feels
right,
good, or you have an injury.
right.
Whereas, if you're doing some form of exercise, yoga, weight training, whatever it is, the massage will help that.
Compliment. Right. It sounds like there's a lot of like compliments. Like it's like you can't replace one. I mean, not replace, but you can always have alternatives, right? Weight training, you can have an alternative with maybe boxing, with
Yeah,
tennis.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, it's always good to mix it up, right?
right,
It's always good to, like I said, if you're going to do weight training twice a week, throw in a Pilates or a yoga class in, or
right.
something different to mix it up, or a hike outside. Too much of one thing, it won't hurt you unless you're
Hmm.
overdoing it. But it's just
Right,
good to mix it up because you will plateau, and that's
right,
the thing you don't want to do is if you only weight train or if you only run, at some point you plateau and you start to do your body a disservice.
right. Do you feel like that's kind of what happened when you were doing boxing and only doing
Uh,
boxing?
no, because I never only did one thing,
Okay,
and
okay.
I stopped teaching the classes because I just felt like I was teaching too many.
Hmm.
You know, I was teaching somewhere between 15 classes a week.
Oh, wow.
Plus a little bit of spinning. Plus I was kind of already into the personal training,
Hmm.
and so it was just a lot of teaching, and I did it for, like I said, almost 3 years. So I was just kind
Oh,
of,
wow.
I was kind of over
Kind
it.
of like burnt out in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it wasn't anything other than I was just doing too much of it,
Right,
and I wanted to
right.
expand my horizon.
That makes sense. I really
Yeah.
think that's very helpful. I don't know, maybe, I guess I don't know if it's more of a boredom sort of perspective, but I guess why do you suggest doing multiple, I guess, different things or not doing too much of one sort of training?
Well, I will tell people to do more than one thing just for boredom.
Right. Okay,
You
that makes
don't want to,
sense.
people get bored, and, you know, you get bored and then you stop altogether,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's
Like
true.
we've all done that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just feel like if you do different things, you won't get bored, right? You spend time in the gym working out, and then you go outside for a hike,
Hmm.
things like that. So it's just to stop yourself from becoming bored of what you're doing,
Right.
and quitting altogether. At least you're
Right.
mixing it up. You're having fun. Maybe you work out by yourself. Then the next day you go do a group class,
I like
and
that.
you just change it up.
It sounds like the changing it up or the idea of doing it
Mm-hmm.
and implementing it, it's more from like in a way you're kind of looking at it as like a longevity
Along,
standpoint of
yes, exactly.
rather than
Consistency.
right a consistency standpoint.
You
And
know, it's
that's a really good way to look at it.
yeah. Well, it's just like your workouts, right? You design a program.
Hmm.
You do that program for, let's say, 4 to 6 weeks, and then you change it,
Right.
right? Because if you do that same program over and over again, one, it'll stop working. Two, you
Right.
get bored.
Right.
So it's like in anything, you have a program, and whether it's, again, Pilates, weight training, you do a 4 to 6 week program, change it up, and it's much better in the long run.
Right. The reason I like this one, which is it kind of caught me off guard, is because in a way it's like when I used to do training, maybe I can speak for most people, when we're doing it so much, we're probably not even thinking about, hey, when am I gonna get tired of this? Or when I do, I'm gonna fall off and get bored. So like it's like the way you're mentioning it, it's like, hey, like step back a little bit and realize like how long are you gonna be doing this or how long do you want to do this? You want to make it a
Yeah,
lifestyle? Then you
yeah.
better have a long term, plan and like how am I gonna switch it up? How am I gonna stay in it, enjoy it, and be
Well,
consistent?
you make it a lifestyle, right?
Right.
You make it a lifestyle, and when you make it a lifestyle, it's easier to set long term goals,
I agree.
as opposed to saying, I'm going on vacation in 2 months, or I'm getting married in 2 months, and I need to get in shape for these things. And that's great to set goals for those things,
Hmm.
but they usually end up being short term goals,
Exactly.
right? But if you make it a lifestyle, then if you're doing it on a consistent basis, then you don't have to worry about when the situation comes up, like, hey, you're going on vacation or something like that, because you're kind of already on that path anyway. And maybe you step it up a little bit and change it up to look good in your swim trunks or bathing suit, right?
Right.
You know? So yeah, if you're just consistent all the time and you know, you're exercising and you're eating correctly, then when things do come up, you don't have to, you know, worry about these short-term goals. Just make it a lifestyle. Make it a lifestyle from the start, and you're in good shape.
Right. That's, you know, that's huge, because I was going to ask, when did you kind of realize that, how important that was for, I guess, clients, looking at it as a lifestyle perspective rather than, hey, I just got to get to this short-term goal?
Well, when I would get clients and they would try to set those short-term goals, they never worked out, right? So I'd always tell people, listen, you can do it this way, but more than likely it's not going to work. So, you know, it's a conversation you have with them in the very beginning, and you set those goals in the very beginning, in that very first conversation. You know, what are your goals? What are you looking to do? What have you done in the past? You know, even things like, you know, do you have any injuries? Things of that nature. You get all those things out of the way, and you can pretty much tell in the first conversation, the first meeting, you know, what that relationship is going to be like.
Right. And it's almost like you help them be more aware of, like, why they should continue to do it, or maybe it's just not the short-term goal.
You just give them information. You know, this is what usually works. This is what usually doesn't work, and you go from there.
Right. So one of the, I guess, last two questions that I had, because that's a really big one. It's a lifestyle. Fitness is a lifestyle.
Yes.
Being healthy is a lifestyle. Everything is incorporating massage, some type of recovery, which I like how you explained it, because I'm like, oh, that makes it makes people have, like, they give them options.
Yeah.
And it's less, hey, you have to do weight training. Well, you don't have to do weight training. You can do Pilates. You have to do massage. Well, you don't have to do this. You can do yoga. It's like, it gives them options.
Yeah.
So I guess, how do you, when people come to you not knowing maybe anything or new to whole fitness, massage, recovery, just anything in that field that you're in, how do you change their lives, like, from start to beginning?
Well, I don't want to say I change their lives, because they're doing the work. You know, I give them the tools, or, you know, I try to give them the tools for them to change their lives, and I just help facilitate that. But really, it's them that's changing them a lot, because once I give you the information, give you the workouts, or whatever it is that I give you, on my side, you know, you still have to be willing to implement it, right? And, you know, if you do, it works. If you don't, it doesn't work. It's that simple. The power is, once I give you the information, and once I kind of, you know, get you going in a particular direction, you know, a lot of it is up to you.
Right. That's true. That's 100%. And that's pretty much exactly what any teacher or any coach does. They give them the tools for it. They still got to implement. They still got to do the work. So I guess in this case scenario, what are I guess, your idea, like, how would you see what the consequence would be if they didn't use the tools? Obviously, they may not hit their goal, but as someone who maybe only does, because you do obviously both help people with recovery and help people with the exercise, I guess, are there any specific consequences you can think of for someone that maybe only comes to you for training, and doesn't implement recovery? Like, what is that like on their life or on their body?
I wouldn't say there's a consequence. You know, it's nice to do both. But, you know, I have people who come to me just for massage because they might be a member of another gym, and they come to me for one thing. So, you know, it's not that if you come to me for one thing or the other, you're gonna suffer in one way, or there'll be consequences. But, you know, if you are a client of mine, then I try to help you out and give you the tools to take home, you know, to use. But I wouldn't say that there's a consequence if you don't do one or the other. It's just nice if you do, right? Because, like I said, I have just massage clients. I have just personal training clients, you know. So, yeah, there's not a real consequence unless, you know, you're doing something in a manner that's going to hurt you, you know. like overtraining, then there's a consequence for that.
Right.
You know, there's not really a consequence for too much massage. You know, right? But overtraining, there's always a consequence. And,
that's actually good to know.
Right, and so that's why I try to step in and give people the tools to take home. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't always have to be massage. It can be something else, you know. But yeah.
Oh, that's really good to know. I never knew there wasn't a consequence for too much.
Yeah, never that, right?
Except I guess money. That's
exactly. Or not enough of it.
Not enough of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. So I guess everyone that's out there that's interested in getting massage, I mean, you said Los Angeles based area.
I'm sorry.
You're in the LA base.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone interested in getting too much massage, go make sure you go to Terry.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead and check him out.
Please come see me. Please.
There's not too much consequence with that. But I guess, Terry, this leads us into the last question. Just I would say a big question. Depends how you look at it. So if you could word this the best way possible, what does the best version of Terry look like to you?
The best version of me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Busy, working a lot, happy, just happy to be working, especially in these times.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple life, my wife, my daughter, and work is the best version of me.
I like that. It seems like you continue doing that. You're continuing to enjoy your life. So I like that. Terry, it's been awesome, really awesome having you on here. I hope anyone that's been watching this or will watch this in the future is informed and properly knows some of the great tips that comes from exercising and implementing some form of recovery in their life, as well as being the best version of themselves, whether it's, like Terry says, working, helping people reach their goals, being a good family member, and not only doing that, but continuing to help people become the best version of themselves. Make sure you guys are becoming the best version of you. Terry, I appreciate having you on here. Is there anything that you want to say or mention to anyone watching?
No, just thank you for having me.
That's awesome. All right, guys, go ahead and check Terry out. His handle will be in the comments. He mentioned it earlier in this video as well. But go ahead and check him out if you're in the LA area. He can help you. Remember, too much massage is not a bad thing. So,
never.
That's the motto for this podcast. I hope you guys have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, Terry, you have a great one. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.